Hi all, welcome to Scalable Matrix Extension training. Scalable Matrix Extensions is commonly referred as SME. SME is a architectural extension to ARM v9a architecture. It is an optional feature from v9.2 onwards. So any implementation with v9.2 or later than v9.2 can have an SME feature implemented. In this module, we'll introduce some of the key SME architectural features like streaming SVE mode, ZDA storage, look into greater details of some of the features like ZDA storage, how data in ZDA storage can be accessed, what are the various mechanisms available. We'll introduce it in this module so that when we look into the instructions overview module, which will be a follow-up of this module, there we may have certain instructions that will exercise various mechanisms to access the ZDA storage, etc. Key architectural features of SME architecture is summarized in this slide. The SME architecture introduces two powerful execution modes in the AR64 execution state that can be controlled by the application software. One is the streaming SVE mode, which enables the execution of SME instructions. The other one is the ZDA storage. A ZDA storage is a two-dimensional array of storage array. Basically, you can access the ZDA storage as vectors, or subarrays can be accessed as ZDA tiled, etc. We'll look into greater detail of how it can be accessed in further slides. Independently, after entering streaming SVE mode, you can turn on or turn off the ZDA storage, which means you can turn on the data storage unit within the PE or turn it off. Likewise, you can enter the streaming SVE mode or exit the streaming SVE mode for execution of normal stream of instructions. Only thing is, when streaming SVE mode is turned off, we will not be able to execute any SME instructions. On entering streaming SVE mode, in addition to executing the SME instructions, we will be able to access the streaming vector registers. There are 32 registers available, Z0 to Z31. And there are predicate registers, P0 to P15. There are 16 predicate registers that are enabled when you enter streaming SVE mode. Apart from streaming SVE mode and ZDA storage, the other key features of SME architecture includes a lookup table referred to as a ZT0. It is a 512-bit architectural register that can be used to store data, and the data can be accessed using various ways and loaded into the registers for processing. We'll look into those details later in this module. Predicate as counter, unlike the predicate mechanism, that is the bit mask predicate mechanism used in the SVE, predicate as counter is a different mechanism in which the predicate register contents will give you an encoded count of elements that are active and that have to be inactive. Okay, more details in further slides. These are just the key features of the SME architecture. We'll look into these features in greater detail in further slides. The objective of this training is, at the end of this topic, you will be able to describe the SME architecture state with details on how we can access ZDA storage, how we can turn on and turn off streaming SVE mode, how we can turn on and turn off ZDA storage, what are the various mechanisms to access the data in the ZDA storage as a ZDA tile slice, as a ZDA array vector, etc. for different element sizes, 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, 64-bit, 128-bit, etc. And we'll be able to use the lookup table, SME lookup table feature. You'll be able to describe the SME predication mechanisms, etc. Wherever possible, we will try to give an example in this module. However, there is a dedicated module that will be a follow for this module that will have a whole lot of examples. That will be the SME instruction set module, in which we'll only deal with examples of various SME instructions that can be used to access the ZA storage, that can be exercised to use the predicate as counter feature, access the lookup table, etc. That will be a dedicated module on instructions of SME.